Learn English through stories with shadowing and conversation. Mrs. Mallard had heart problems. Because of this, her family and friends were very careful when they told her the bad news. Her husband was dead. Her sister Josephine told her the news very gently. Her husband's friend Richards was also there. He had seen the news at the newspaper office. There was a train accident, and Brentley Mallard's name was on the list of people who died. Richards checked the news again with another telegram to be sure. Then he came quickly to tell Mrs. Mallard. Mrs. Mallard did not react like most women. She did not sit quietly in shock. She cried very hard at once in her sister's arms. When she stopped crying, she went alone to her room. She did not want anyone to come with her. In her room, there was a big, comfortable chair in front of the open window. She sat down. She felt very tired in her body and in her mind. Through the window, she could see the tops of trees moving softly in the spring wind. The air smelled fresh after the rain. In the street, a man was selling things and shouting. She could hear birds singing and a distant song. She sat in the chair with her head on the cushion. She was mostly quiet, but sometimes she cried a little, like a child after crying. She was a young woman with a calm face. Her face showed she had known sadness, but also had strength. Now her eyes looked far away at the blue sky. She was not thinking about anything. Something was coming to her. She was waiting for it. She felt a little afraid because she did not understand it, but it was coming through the sounds, smells, and colours from the window. Her heart started beating fast. Slowly she began to understand the feeling. She tried to stop it, but she could not. Then she accepted it. She whispered, "Free, free, free." She said it again and again. Her eyes became bright. Her body felt warm and full of life. She did not ask herself if this feeling was wrong. She understood everything clearly now. She knew she would cry again when she saw her husband's dead body. But after that, she would have many years just for herself. She would live for herself. No one would tell her what to do. In the past, people believed they could control other people's lives. She now thought this was wrong. She had loved her husband sometimes. Many times she had not loved him. But now, the most important thing was her freedom. "Free, body and soul free," she whispered. Josephine was outside the door. She was on her knees.
"Louise, open the door. Please. You'll make yourself ill. What are you doing?" "Go away. I am not sick. I am quite well."
She was enjoying the beautiful new feeling of freedom that came through the open window. After some time, she stood up, opened the door, and went downstairs with her sister. Her eyes were shining. She looked strong and happy. Richards was waiting downstairs. Suddenly, the front door opened. It was Brentley Mallard. He looked tired from his trip. He was carrying his bag and umbrella. He was not in the accident at all. He knew nothing about it. Josephine cried loudly. Richards tried to hide Brentley from his wife quickly, but he was too late. When the doctors came, they said Mrs. Mallard had died of heart disease, of the joy that kills. Now let's do some shadowing together. Listen carefully and repeat each sentence naturally with me. She felt very tired in her body and in her mind. She felt very tired in her body and in her mind. Through the window she could see the tops of trees moving softly. Through the window she could see the tops of trees moving softly. She was not thinking about anything. She was not thinking about anything. No one would tell her what to do. No one would tell her what to do. She understood everything clearly now. She understood everything clearly now. She tried to stop it, but she could not. She tried to stop it, but she could not. Now she hoped her life would be very long. Now she hoped her life would be very long. Now, let's listen to Olivia and Harry talk about the story and some of the key words from it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Natively.
You've just listened to The Story of an Hour by Kate Chopin.
Now we're going to talk about the author, the themes of the story, some useful vocabulary, and the surprising ending.
Although the story is very short, it explores important ideas such as freedom, marriage, independence, and personal identity.
We'll also discuss why this story has remained popular for more than 100 years.
So, sit back, relax, and join us as we explore The Story of an Hour together.
Let's get started!
Before we move on, Olivia, I think we should talk a bit about Kate Chopin herself. I didn't actually know much about her before reading this story.
Really? I think she's such an interesting writer. She was an American author who was born in 1850, and she wrote a lot about women's lives and emotions.
That makes sense, actually. This story feels very personal, especially when we hear Louise's thoughts.
Exactly. And what's interesting is that many of her stories explore topics like marriage, freedom, and independence.
Which must have been quite unusual at that time, right?
Oh, definitely. Women had far fewer rights in the 19th century, so some of her ideas were considered quite bold.
It's funny because when you read the story today, it still feels surprisingly modern.
I thought the same thing. Even though it was published in 1894, many readers still connect with the themes.
I suppose that's why people still study her work in schools and universities.
Absolutely. Kate Chopin was really ahead of her time, and that's one reason why The Story of an Hour remains such an important story today.
So, Olivia, one of the biggest themes in this story is freedom, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I think freedom is really at the heart of the entire story.
It's interesting because, at the beginning, Louise is very sad when she hears the news about her husband.
Yes, and that's completely natural. She loved him at times, and losing someone close to you is always painful.
But when she sits alone in her room, something starts to change.
Exactly. She begins to realize that, for the first time in her life, she can make her own choices and live for herself.
And I think that's what surprises many readers. They expect her to remain sad, but instead she starts thinking about freedom.
That's true. But I don't think the story is saying that marriage itself is bad.
No, I agree. It seems more about independence and having control over your own life.
Especially in the 19th century, when women often had very little freedom and were expected to follow their husbands.
So Louise isn't only thinking about her husband, she's thinking about her future and her own identity.
Exactly. That's why she whispers, "Free, free, free." It's such an important moment in the story.
Another interesting theme is marriage. Louise says that she sometimes loved her husband and sometimes she didn't.
Yes, and I think that makes her feel very human. Relationships can be complicated.
The story also asks an important question. Can someone love another person and still want independence?
I think that's one reason why people still talk about this story today. The themes of freedom, marriage, and personal identity are still very relevant.
And even though the story was written more than 100 years ago, those questions still matter.
Absolutely. That's what makes the story of an hour such a powerful and unforgettable story.
So, Olivia, what did you think about the story personally?
I really enjoyed it. It's short, but it says so much about freedom and identity.
I agree. I think Louise is a very interesting character because her feelings are complicated and realistic.
And I like that the story doesn't give us easy answers.
Exactly. Different readers can understand the ending in different ways.
That's what makes great literature so interesting.
We hope you enjoyed today's discussion.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode of English Natively.
Goodbye, everyone.